of Find Magic People, and I'm here with Bobby Dimovski of 4MJ Social. And I'm real excited to be here because Bobby's got a lot of experience working with medical professionals, and there's a kind of online ecosystem to support for them to support each other. And so what we're going to be exploring is how we can create something ourselves for the kind of for our spiritual community to better support each other, especially around Find Magic People, but in general, just the more support, the better. So Bobby, thank you so much for joining us. Can you tell me a little bit about your experience in this area and what you've learned?
Yeah, Derek, of course. And I'm happy to be chatting about this and help you guys out as much as I can. Like you said, I have a lot of experience on the healthcare side of things when it comes to communications from healthcare providers to patients, which is really similar to what you guys are doing here with Find Magic People. And so, really, the core of it all comes down to what value are you creating and providing to those that you're helping and serving? And how are you getting that message across? And that's always the challenge, when it comes to, you're not selling a good or, you know, a limited service. You are truly helping people and trying to care for people. And there is a little bit of a gray area there where people don't know how to tell their story or explain what they're doing or educate people on the benefits of what some of these services are. So I think that's really at the core of what we're going to be talking about today is how do we make it easy to communicate with the general public about what you guys are doing, how you're helping, and what that really looks like. Even debunking some common misassociations with things or whatever the case is. We want to make it simple to be able to provide that true value to potential clients, patients, whoever you're seeing.
Mhm. So it sounds like there'll be a piece of it of personal communication. How do I inform people? But also, partly how can we support each other? Because like the two kind of have to go hand. Well, it's best if they go hand in hand, I
Yeah,
think.
it is because it's you know health and well-being and just as humans, there's there has to be a holistic view of all of this, right? So again, from a healthcare perspective and what I've done in the past, if you have a primary care doctor, they're not necessarily going to be the best resource for orthopedic information or physical therapy or cardiology. So they have to have an ecosystem of being able to share content and education and value for their patients. And instead of trying to do it all on their own, it's easy to lean on each other to be able to provide that. So I think what you have with Find Magic People is so unique and so resourceful to be able to do that at a different level, right? So you can share these different practitioners and practices and different things that people might not be familiar with, coming straight from the experts and being able to provide that out to the public. And I think that's fantastic the way that you set that up.
Yeah, no, I think there's something really, especially on social media with a lot of the interviews we've been doing, just giving little tastes of some of people's experiences, some of the care that we have for what we do, but also just sharing little pieces of insights into the different practices and modalities. Because I think, unlike the medical industry, where people in general, I've got a problem, there's a doctor for it.
Yeah.
In this space, there's I think there's too many people that just aren't aware of even what the options are. And I know people get that confusion in the medical space as well. It's like, okay, I've got a problem, I'm not sure who the right doctor is. But I think it's a little more exaggerated in this space where there's a lot of people that feel like, okay, I know there's stuff out there, but I don't even know where to begin.
You're so right, and I think that's where a lot of this shared communication and education is going to be important for everybody involved here. Because again, yeah, maybe I'm having problems, maybe my doctor's not solving it, and you just kind of hear of things sometimes, but you don't know enough, right? Like, oh, I chronic headaches. Oh, I heard somebody talk about Reiki. What is that? What is Reiki? Would that help? And it's so surface level. Like people don't know much detail about a lot of the modalities that you guys are practicing here. And so being able to provide that education is going to be super important and so helpful to people out there because you're right, they're randomly searching and hoping for the best. And if they can't find the right information, it's not going to help them achieve what they need to achieve. It's not going to help you guys service the people that need help. And so finding that way to communicate and educate the public and let them know what you're doing, why they should or shouldn't do it, where the fit is, and an easy resource to be able to find a professional doing it is the key to really truly helping people out.
Yeah, and I think like having a voice, like being able to see a person talk about it instead of just a label and a name. And okay, Reiki's a term, but I don't know what. But I think, and you've worked in social and marketing for quite a while. I think like people can get a good first impression, but often it takes some time for somebody to actually act on it.
Yeah, and that's the challenge with social media, right? Is number one, you have to be able to produce good quality content. Content is always king when it comes to social media. It has to be relevant, it has to be quality, and it has to be reflective of you and your business and your practice. So doing that consistently can be tiresome. It can be exhausting. A lot of people who have tried to post on social media, Derek, you, I'm sure, just as well as I have, like sometimes you just don't want to do it. You don't want
Hmm.
to, you have a million other things on your mind and on your plate to do, and that's the last thing. So finding a simple and consistent way to put your message out there is super important. And really the key to exposure because the way that social media channels have set up their algorithms again, this is a conversation for a different day if we want to get into the super
Hmm.
technical back end, but I promise it's relevant here. It only gets out to about 10% of the people that follow your page every post.
Hmm.
So you have to produce more content that is, again, it's valuable, it's reflective of who you are and what you do, and it's really something unique about what you're doing, and doing that consistently. So having a forum and having a community to help you create that consistent content is really, really helpful. And the medical community has done that a lot, and they've kind of leaned on each other to, share posts on social media instead of coming up with their own creative posts every single time. Liking and commenting each other's posts so you get exposure to larger audiences. They're all tactics that work really well and make life easier, but it takes a community to be able to do that effectively.
Hmm. No, I had with one of my recent collaborative events, there were several practitioners, and some people just liked the community, the things that mentioned everybody, but the people that shared it to a couple, and then people started to engage. I mean, those went the farthest. I mean, they
Mhm.
reached far more people, and it's not a big effort, but it is an effort that I think people need to be aware of and deliberate about because it really does make a difference.
Yeah, and doing it that way and having that collaborative effort, it really, honestly, it removes probably 80% of the legwork that you would have to do if you were just trying to post it and build an audience on your own and do all this in a silo. So having a community to lean on, like you said, as simple as liking and commenting and sharing the different content that's out there on top of things that you can produce, it takes a lot of pressure off of you to be able to produce something fresh and new daily or 3 times a week even. If you can do it a couple times a month and then engage in everybody else's posts that they're putting out there a couple times a month, um, that saves so much time, so much energy, and it's more impactful from a community standpoint.
Well, it was such a relief to feel that reach and to know that it was
Hmm.
getting in front of more people and other people that I didn't know were commenting, and it's like, oh, just such a relief. And
Well, and that's when you know it's working, right? When other
exactly.
people you don't know are on a post that you're involved with, that's how you are reaching a larger audience, and that's what everybody wants when it comes to growing their business or creating something more consistent with their business. So I think that's ultimately the goal of what you and I have talked about with Find Magic
Mhm.
People is helping all these practitioners that are involved with the site and partnered up make their lives easier, make it more consistent, more predictable, help them help more people. And that's what we really want to do.
Yeah, perfect, perfect. All right, so let's do it a little bit. So I think I can share my screen, and I've got a one of my events open, and so we'll show sharing it to. So this is one of my events for Avatar. That's my practice, and you can see my screen, right?
Yep, sure can.
All right, so this is one of the events that I've created, and on all the pages on excuse me, all the pages on Find Magic People, there's a share this page, and this makes it real easy to just, push content to different mediums. And so the first one I wanted to share was Facebook. So I'm logged into Facebook, and if let me share. So now you see this screen, right?
Yep.
So what it does is it pops up the same event as a page on Find Magic People, and it's got my image and everything, and so I can just say, it's just as an example, looking forward to this event, um, and I'll do an at Find Magic People, um, just to mention where it's that that it's on the Find Magic People page, but it also has the event on. Um, so the Find Magic People on Facebook, so that connects to Facebook, and if I share this, then that pushes it out, and so now it's mentioned with the Find Magic People page, and as Find Magic People, I will see that, and I can repost it. And so just a click of a button and a mention, and that gets everything moving. Is
Yeah,
that?
and that's super simple and it's really easy even again if it's not your event. If you think things are interesting and other people should be taking a look at it, you can share other people's events. You can go on the Find Magic People Facebook page if others are doing this. And again, just liking and commenting, hey, looks like a fantastic event, tagging other people that you might think are interested. That's the easiest way to really grow and expand the opportunity for everybody. Because again, maybe that event isn't for everybody,
Mhm.
but maybe through this community effort, it exposes some people to what Find Magic People is. And then they start perusing the site and then they start to learn more or find events that are more apt for what they're looking for, etc. So the ultimate goal is, Find Magic People is a great vehicle for practitioners to get some exposure on their own, but it's a great vehicle to be able to build everybody else up too. And um, I'm just a big believer in finding community within a lot of this because you guys are everybody's really truly helping people, but it's not a fit for everybody, right? Like not every practice is the right fit for every person. So it's just providing that additional education, um, building up value, and ultimately just teaching people what they should know about what these practices are versus them randomly googling because you never know what you're going to get with some
Exactly.
of this information and misinformation about what these practices do. So it should be coming from the sources, from the professionals, from the people that are doing it day in and day out. And if you guys can lean on each other more and more to promote this, that's going to be a win for everybody.
Yeah. Well, I think there's there are people that feel like there's a lot of competition, and I don't want somebody that might be interested in me to see other people. But that's getting there's far fewer of that approach than I think that there has been. And I think that for you know in my experience and most people that I know, they're not just interested in one thing.
Mm.
Like somebody, I'd love a sound bath, and I'd like to get a tarot reading, and I'd like to do some like people are curious, and when they're curious, they want to explore lots of things, and so. And especially with events, like, okay, I'm busy on this day, but what other events are happening? Like that helps all of us. And
Yeah.
so the more things that people, and then the other part is the exhaustion of like, okay, I've got to post every day.
Yeah.
you know, but if there's stuff that's posted every day or multiple things every day, then all of a sudden it just it grows in interest. So there's just I was so excited when we first started talking, because that whole ecosystem, online ecosystem of support is not doesn't seem that hard, but it's really not in practice. And it's like, okay, it's time.
Yeah. Well, and even, I mean, just being able to have resources on Find Magic People. So, like you said, if it's, if there's a Reiki practitioner that wants to talk about sound baths, I mean, by all means, that's fantastic, because I think everybody within your ecosystem here kind of understands one another and some of the challenges you guys are going through, and a lot of the benefits
Hmm.
of what a lot of these practices are. So being able to share somebody's content, tag them in a post, you're exposing different audiences to different pieces of content that they might not have seen before. And
Hmm.
again, it's valuable for everyone, because even if you're not getting a new client out of it, you are creating value to those people following you. Like, hey, I'm not being sold for services all the time. Like, this person is really trying to educate me on what's out there and available, what might be beneficial, what these new or just I guess, things that I don't know that much about, like what they are,
Hmm.
and they're teaching me. And I think that's super valuable. Again, from a public standpoint, they just want to hear from people they trust at the end of
Yeah.
the day. It doesn't all have to be the same subject, but as long as they trust you and they believe in what you're doing, then you can share all this other content and continue to build more value. So it's just, I feel like I'm starting to get a little repetitive with this, but at the same time, that's what it is, right? There is a lot
Hmm.
of repetition and consistency that goes into this type of marketing concept. And so when I talk about it, I guess I'm kind of practicing what I preach and just being repetitive, but
Hmm.
it does, it works, it really does. So I think leaning on each other, like I said, liking, sharing, commenting on these posts, and even connecting with the other practitioners on the site, tagging their pages. I mean, those things are really simple ways, simple additions to really expand and grow things pretty significantly.
Hmm. And I think it's something that I think people are, eh, we we all come into this as practitioners because we really enjoy something about what we're doing. And I think we can get so caught up in, okay, I need to get customers and I need to, find people. And but you know I love the interviews because people get to share, and
Mm,
there's such an appreciation for sharing. And I think that's something that the cascade of that can be, share somebody else's. I like how you say that. And I really appreciate the care that you're showing, and what you're doing. Or I was inspired that way too. Like, all
yeah.
those are other examples of ways to just share our interest and enthusiasm for all this amazing stuff that we're playing with.
And I think that's it, right? The enthusiasm and being able to put it out there, because at the end of the day, you don't want to, nobody wants to be sold something. Nobody wants to be pitched something on social media. But you guys are passionate about what you're doing. I think there's value in sharing that and sharing the passion, enthusiasm. And um, by all means, this will make it easier to do that versus more stressful to do that by creating content. Because at the end of the day, not everybody is a natural content creator. Not everybody wants to sit there and write out posts and put together images and craft these things that are reflective of their personality. But to comment on something, like you said, I mean, it's really easy to be genuine in the comments.
Hmm.
And I think that's probably the easiest way to kind of grow if you're not comfortable creating your own content. But at the same time, it'll make creating content easier if you're seeing and exposed to more of this stuff. So, again, there's a big snowball effect with a lot of this, but starting simple and just, like I said, sharing those
Hmm.
events, sharing posts from Find Magic People that you're creating, tagging the page, and just building from there, I think is a fantastic way to really easily promote your business.
Yeah. Well, if I can tag on some of what you're saying, because I think that it's so absolutely true. Like, so many practitioners are really love what they do, are amazingly skilled at it, but a lot of not most of us aren't bloggers. Most of us aren't social media experts. Most of us are not adept at creating web pages. And I'm sure you've bumped into this, but one of the things that I really appreciate about how Find Magic People is forming is that it can operate as your web page. It's got everything that your web page needs, and you don't have to maintain it, you don't have to design it, you don't have to figure out who your host is. But even beyond that, creating a blog, like I was talking to somebody about creating a blog, and I could just tell all of the things, all of the decisions in unfamiliar spaces of where do I do it? I know I can't just do one.
Hmm.
How do I put it out there? Who's going to see it? How do I grow my list? How do I, and on Find Magic People, anybody can create a blog, and if you just create one, it still fits into a greater context. And so if you have a blog, great. But if you don't, you can try something and see what happens, and it still has benefit, and you don't have to figure out all those other things. So that's one of the side benefits that I wanted to mention, because I think that there's a lot of ways that it makes things easier for people that they might not realize at first glance.
Yeah, as a solo business owner or practitioner, it's really easy to get caught up in a lot of those little details that you just don't know about.
Mhm.
It's the beauty and the curse of the way technology and digital marketing has evolved over the years. GoDaddy has made it really easy in theory to build a website and email list and blogs and this and that, but there's a lot of detail that goes into it that can be
Yeah.
overwhelming. And then when a problem pops up, even more overwhelming because you don't know how to troubleshoot it without having a little bit of experience there. So you're right. I think you've done a great job of making it really easy to be able to showcase yourself, promote yourself, and just have a centralized place as a business owner, as an independent practitioner, to do all of these things without the stress on the back end,
Mhm.
which is always a hindrance. So I love it. Like I said, we've talked about this before, and I'm going to try my best not to toot your horn too much with Find Magic People, but I love what you've created with the site. I think it's fantastic, and I think it's going to be a great opportunity for any practitioners that are joining on from all those standpoints. Like you said, it's a simple landing page website with a blog with access to content and event sharing and all these things in one place. I mean, it's going to make life so easy and so much easier to market and build practices that way.
Mhm. And I think that's how people want to explore too. It's like I don't want to just, okay, if you're not interested in this, go somewhere else. Like that's not
Yeah,
like, if you are interested, great, but what else is there? It's all here. So yeah, I
right.
think for the world as well, it's very exciting. I'm very excited.
No, I agree.
Well, fantastic. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate your insight, and so we'll have how to contact you in all of these videos or however this comes out. But thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks,
And
Eric.